My life until fourth grade was simple, carefree, blissful, and laughter-filled. I grew up in Des Moines, Iowa, with two loving parents and a brother who I got along with very well. I was very involved in many different activities and had various friends. I would spend time with my two best friends who were my neighbors, Brianna and Kate. But my world got turned upside down on a cold and cloudy night in April the year I was in fourth grade that changed my life forever. That night, Brianna, Kate, and I were alone at my home while all of our parents were down the street playing cards with friends. Kate enjoyed eating popcorn, so I popped some in the microwave and waited for it to cook. Then I gave it to her. Kate took a handful of popcorn and put it in her mouth quickly. The popcorn went down her throat too fast, and she started choking. She began to panic, her face turning purple and blue. I had just gone through a babysitter CPR class, so my body reacted to her distress. I began to give her the Heimlich maneuver until the popcorn came out. As soon as Kate was breathing again, a darkness fell upon my heart. I was relieved that Kate was all right, and we all hugged. However, I felt uneasy, out of breath, and almost empty. I told myself that I was okay after Kate and Brianna had left my home, but I wasn't. My chest was on fire, and my body ached more than it ever had. Is this what dying feels like? I asked myself, but I don't want to die, I told myself. This night started my thanatophobia, which is the strong fear of the physical pain of death. The near-death experience Kate had endured had sent me into a hole I couldn't get out of. For 2 years, the feeling of my heart being squeezed, my chest burning, and my breath being shallow became a part of my everyday life. I saw many doctors who did thorough testing and exams, but found nothing but a healthy little girl. I ended up seeing a therapist for those 2 years, and she had determined that it was anxiety and all in my head. She told me the brain was a powerful thing and could make me feel this way. For those 2 years, I had problems eating due to the fear of choking, along with problems watching TV and movies with death in them, being in cars, on planes, in swimming pools, and lastly, being alone. Through these difficult times, my parents took me to a new Lutheran church we had just become official members of. I had adults and friends that would comfort and pray for me. I started getting more involved in my church and started reading the Bible more often. One day when I was at church during worship, I began to pray for me to have this anxiety be washed away. I was afraid it would be like this forever. We started singing Amazing Grace for worship, and I began to sing along. Suddenly, a weight off of my heart was lifted, and I could finally breathe. On that day, I had been saved and renewed through Christ. Since then, I have lived out my life with faith. Today, no one would know that I endured 2 years of pain and anxiety because I now have the joy of the Lord in my heart.